Hello and welcome to a new HostiFi video. My name's Alex and today we're going to look at the Wave AP. So this is the first access point in the line of UISP Wave that Ubiquiti has released in the last few months. But this is the main base station. It's a 90-degree sector and you can actually pair three together to get full coverage. You can have a maximum of 15 clients and this is a 60 gigahertz point-to-multipoint AP. It also has a 5 gigahertz failover radio, which is 82.11 AC, I think. We'll put the specs up on the screen for clarity. There are two ports on the back. So this flap's quite hard to open, so it'd be quite a tricky thing to do when you're up a tower. But it's attached with a little bit of rubber. But you can see inside there's an Ethernet port for PoE, and then an SFP plus port for 10 gig connectivity. Because once you use 60 gigahertz, you do have some quite impressive capacity RAM numbers. So this is managed by the UISP application. There is also a web GUI as well. So thankfully for the WISP operators out there, Ubiquiti hasn't done what they have done with the USB switch and console and router. There is still a main GUI for this, which is brilliant to see because it can be a little bit tricky to manage stuff via USB sometimes. There is also a very fine adjustment tool. So you can see on the side here there's a degree measurement. You can see how tilted the AP is, but you basically just undo this bolt here and it just slowly moves up and down. There is also GPS built into the UISP Wave AP for GPS synchronization. But what we're going to do now is unbox the UISP Wave, have a look at the hardware that comes with it. There is also some queries about the power that it takes. So it does say it can work with 48 volt PoE, so passive PoE. It doesn't work with any active PoE standards, so AF, AT or BT. But it does also power off 24 volt 4 pair. We had a question here at HostiFi about whether it just powers off standard 24 volt, the same as the AirMax stuff. And it does. I tested it yesterday when I unboxed it. It does power off 24 volt standard PoE, but before you go out and use that, I will do some more testing to make sure that under high load that the device doesn't reboot or have any problems, because that would be pretty disastrous. So what we're going to do now is unbox the UISP Wave, have a look at what comes in the box, and then we're going to go outside and mount the AP to a pole and then get a station connected and see what that process is like. So this is the UISP Wave. Let's get this opened. Little quick start guide, there's a QR code to scan. And here is the AP. Quite a heavy device. So this one base station is 30 degrees. If you have three paired together, which you can, it will cover 90 degrees. And then there's the accessories kit. So there's a PoE injector in here and all of the mounting equipment. So we've got the 48 volt passive PoE injector. But this, as I said, this device does take 24 volts as well, 2 pair and 4 pair. Well, unofficially 2 pair, but it does seem to work okay. A lot of little dials on the back, which we'll get into later. The port cover is a bit hard to remove, so it should ease up over time, but initially it's a bit stiff. So, and on the back you got the 2.5 gig PoE port. And then you've also got a 10 gig SFP plus port as well. Just gonna plug it in. This is using 24 volts 2 pair. Yeah, boots up okay. Now we're gonna pair it to UISP. So I've got the iOS app open. So it discovers it over Bluetooth, it clicks setup. As long as you're signed into the UISP app on your phone, it should work fine. and click Create AP. It'll ask you for your network mode. I'm going to leave it on Bridge and DHCP. This bit is sped up by a little bit. Setup complete, press done. I'm going to click the HostiFi site I've got assigned. And the device is ready to go. There's some configuration details on here, SSID password. We've also got this Wave AI mode. So if you leave it on Wave AI, it will do all the channel selection for you. You can also select the 5 GHz frequency as well. And you can also select the 60 GHz frequency and the channel width. Country code. And there's some details in the tools section. You do the AP alignment. Okay, we're now going to mount the UISP Wave AP to a pole. So I'm using this speaker stand. This is very similar to a pole that you'd use on a mast or tower or on a building. So just gives you a good idea how to mount the device to the tower. So there's a few bolts included in the kit, as well as some sort of bracket thing that goes on the other side, similar to a power beam 5AC. And then what we're gonna do is get the Wave Nano connected to the Wave AP. Previously in the video, you would have seen that we used the mobile app on the iPhone to connect to the UISP Wave AP, and then set up the GUI and all this ID stuff. So we'll do that now. So with the UISP Wave AP, you get this rear bracket, very similar to a power beam 5AC we did in a different video. So you just put this on the back there and do the bolts up. You also get a little packet of bolts. So there's an Allen key, some cable ties, 2 bolts as well. So we're now going to show you how to mount the UISP Wave to the pole. So with the UISP Wave, the mounting situation is a little bit weird. So on the back, you can see these 2 holes, and you get with the kit, you get 2 bolts. So what they want you to do is put the bolts in the larger end, and then force it down, and then slide it over to the right hand side. You'll hear a click, and then the same for the other side as well. And once the bolts are in there nice and secure, you need to get the rear plate that came with the kit. And then what you need to do is somehow, when you're up a tower, is mount it that way, so it grips the pole, and then put the washer, the ring nut, and then the nut itself on there, and it'll be secure then. So we'll try to do that one-handed. Once everything is mounted, you can then use these dials to adjust the height of the AP, so the tilt. So it's quite a slow process because 60 GHz is quite a it's quite a very narrow beam width. So you can see slowly if I speed this up in post. And you haven't got anything else to the other side. You've got this screw here, which I guess is for locking it off as well, and then there's this piece here which comes off. Okay, next we're going to get the Wave AP plugged in. It's already set up from when I did the UISP app setup, and then we're going to plug in a Wave Nano CPE radio and get that connected up to this. So I've got the Wave AP connected up now. We've got some lights going. If you're interested in what I'm using, it's a bit of a rat's nest in here. We've got a power station, I think it's a RAV Power. Yeah, RAV Power power bank plugged into an extension lead. And I'm going to have a load of PoE injectors hanging off that. It's a bit of a mess, but it'll do the job. So this is the UISP Wave Nano. It looks like quite a large nano beam in my opinion. It comes with this bracket here, so let's come close to the camera to show how it works. There's these little nubbin pieces on here, these little tolls, these little like sticky outer bits, and they line up with the brackets on here. So all you have to do, slot that in there, and you get the up and down adjustment. And then what you need to do once you get it mounted, it's pretty simple. Just put that on the pole. You've got a carabiner clip on the back there. There are some little nuts that came with the kit, so it's on the side of these little screws that should go in the side. It's still got the up and down adjustment. So with the Wave Nano came this little screw piece, and this goes in the side here, allows to adjust the up and down. So once you've adjusted it, imagine on the pole, you think, oh okay, that'll do, and you can then lock it off. Which is pretty good. That's not going to go anywhere. So we're now going to fit it to the pole with the carabiner. So we're going to put the carabiner through, and then point it towards our Wave AP over there. So now that the Wave AP or the Wave Nano is mounted, I'm going to plug this into power and get it set up on the phone. So we're going to get this set up now to UISP. So we're going to open the UISP app. It's found the Wave Nano already, which is awesome. So it's a setup. It's found because the Wave AP is already on UISP, it's found the SSID. It says Wave Nano, DHCP, fine, done. Processing now. If everything's on UISP, the setup process is very simple. This must be the only, this is the only 60 gigahertz AP I've got on my UISP application, but I would imagine if you've got loads of them, just name them appropriately, save them, and then you don't need to remember SSIDs and passwords, you just use UISP, which is really cool. So see what sort of signal we get. Again, it's only 8 meters away, but it'd be interesting to see what we get. So it says aim your device to AP. So I'm going to set that on there. So it's minus 56 at the moment. So if we undo that, you can see it's changing now, minus 56, 53, 61. But just that tiny little bit of difference made a tiny adjustment made all the difference. You've got minus 70, minus 50. I guess my hand's in the way of causing a problem. But yeah, got minus 44, 51. So if we move just like that. So it's unavailable at the moment. So it says 57, 62. We'll press done. Yes, I'm done. Wait for it to connect to the AP. So we're going to assign it to a station as well. We won't do that just yet. So it says we're running on 68 gigahertz. Station point to multi-point. Channel width is 1 gigahertz as well. So I was just checking my Mac, and this was out of date. So even though this had picked up an IP address from my main network. So what this is doing is going from here to the Wave AP, and then now station across to my main network. This had picked up an IP address and it was connected on UISP, but the main problem was the software on this was out of date, so UISP couldn't recognise that this was connected to that. So that's a bit of a pre-warner, that if whatever software this comes with, set this up in the lab first, update the software, and then take it to the field. It's a good thing to do really. So now I've got these connected to UISP, I can now see the throughput on them, I can now see the signal level. So this is neg 34, which is really cool. So there's capacity as well. I've got 1 gig up and down basically, and if I wanted any more than that I just increase the channel width, which is pretty cool. No throughput because there's not really anything plugged into it, it's just the UISP connection to it. And then we've got the Wave AP here, so it says neg 51, it does say QPSK for some reason, but it's doing 1 gig per second. This is on the 60 gig radio. There's no real way of seeing, I suppose it does say 68 gigahertz on there, 2 gigahertz channel width. Capacity is, again, is 1 gig. These will do about, I'll put the capacity on the screen. These will do quite an impressive amount of capacity. If we log into the antenna alignment again, we can see that we've got neg 43. If we move it, so it says we move it right up, it says neg 59. It's expecting neg 47, and neg 41 was our best. That's neg 44 just there, so pretty cool. I'll do a quick walk around of the setup, but that's a look at the UISP Wave AP, and one of the stations so far, the UISP Wave Nano. There are more stations coming soon. There's a YouTube video that Ubiquiti released 8 months ago. about the Wave AP Pro, some Wave AP meshes. So there's a lot more stuff coming soon. But just a quick overview of what we've got set up here, and then we'll head back. So what we've got here is the tripod this phone was mounted to, and then we've got the Wave AP Nano. So again, their sort of entry-level base station. So we've got the moving up and down action I was just showing you just there. We've got this 8-meter cable, so Ubiquiti cable, going over to the box of power, I like to call it. Then we've got the Wave AP, and then again we've got all the adjustments on here, which is pretty cool. There's some nice little lights underneath here. We've got power, LAN, and then GPS. And then across to the box of mesh that we showed earlier, Nano Station AC that goes over to the main network, giving us LAN connectivity for the network. And we've got a extension lead, the RAV power, battery bank, 3 different PoE injectors. So this one goes across to the Wave Nano over there. This one is the Wave AP, and then this one's the Nano Station. And you'll notice these LANs are bridged. So this is getting DHP from my main network, and it's just bridging across the IP range to that. So that was a look at the UISP Wave Nano and the UISP Wave Access Point. These can be purchased on the Ubiquiti store for $499 in the US. Also, the Wave Nano is $199 in the US, and they also have a long-range model. So the one I featured in the video was the Wave Nano, the smaller of the two, and the Wave long range looks a little bit bigger. It's got a different mounting system. It looks a bit more robust, probably a little bit bigger as well. They've all got 5 GHz backup radios built in. The Wave Access Point is a 30-degree sector, and it can have 3 paired together to form a 90-degree sector. The Wave Access Point has a 2.5 gig Ethernet port and then a 10 gig SFP plus port. Up to 8 kilometers of range for the Wave long range, and up to 5 kilometers of range for the Wave Nano, the one I featured in the video. One of these base stations can handle up to 15 stations, and then have a total throughput of up to 5.4 gigabits per second. The UISP Wave will be a good addition for WISPs that are looking to expand their coverage and offer much faster speeds when compared to fiber as well. You can sort of compete with the fiber networks. And also, if you wanted to bring faster networks to areas that aren't on fiber yet, you can use the UISP Wave platform to offer that to your customers. There are many more CPE devices coming soon. If you check out the video that are linked in the description from Ubiquiti Networks, there's a Wave Mesh device, Wave Pro, and other devices coming soon, as well as a lot of UISP power devices that are due to be launched as well. If you want to learn more about HostiFi, have a look at HostiFi.com. We offer UniFi hosting, UISP hosting, as well as professional consulting services with HostiFi Pro. You can contact our team for any questions and queries about UniFi and UISP at support@hostify.com, and you can follow us on Twitter at hostify_net, and we're also on Mastodon, and the link can be found down below. Thank you for watching this video. My name's Alex, and we'll see you again next time.